Ako urong dito, and I said I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
Illegal drugs, while a total of 130 were dismissed from service for other drug-related offenses. The government rewards those who help us in the anti-drug campaign. And for the period, a total of 49.23 million pesos worth of rewards were given to 56 informants under Operation Private Eye. This is for members of the civilian sector who give vital information that resulted in noteworthy or major anti-drug accomplishments. And a total of 17.94 million pesos of rewards were given to 33 operating units under Operation Lomen for the successful conduct of high-impact operations. We have confiscated a total value of 25.06 billion pesos worth of drugs. This is an increase of 44.26 million, and 3,276.42 kilograms is shabu, worth 18.31 billion pesos. This was confiscated by PDEA and other law enforcement agencies nationwide. This is an increase of 4.9 kilograms valued at 33.33 million pesos. Since the start of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's administration, a total of 1,820 children involved in illegal drug activities have been rescued during anti-drug operations. These children were turned over to the social welfare offices in the local government units, and the breakdown is shown on the screen as follows. Those who were caught in possession of illegal drugs, 487. Those using illegal drugs, 255. 3 were found as employees in drug dens. 6 were found to be maintaining drug dens, which is a higher offense. 91 were visitors of a drug den. 2 were cultivators, or in other words, maintaining plantations of illegal drugs, namely, or most prevalent would be marijuana. And 976 were caught pushing or selling illegal drugs. Thank you very much.
We have here today, as promised several months ago, we have the rehabilitation efforts of government. We still have to update on other aspects or other data pertaining to the different interventions. For now, we have 5, the general interventions being conducted by law enforcement agencies. 6, community-based treatment and rehabilitation. We don't have the data yet because they would be coming from the local government units from the DILG. But we have the data on outpatient, health facility-based, and the inpatient or treatment and rehabilitation programs implemented by the Department of Health. Next card, please. So for the general interventions, we have here those who graduated from the RWP surrenders. We have 292,108. PNP initiated is at 142,280, and the community supported centers is at 149,828. persons. For the outpatient rehabilitation program, we have 41 outpatients. This data came from the DDB, and this has to be updated every so often because they have manual reporting, and they have yet to update this one. And for the inpatient rehabilitation program, DDB reported 3,323 inpatients. Some of them go inside and they're released, and then they go back to rehabilitation centers. But as of this time, as of October 31, 2018, we have 3,323 inpatients, both in government rehabilitation centers and the private rehabilitation centers. Thank you. We will have an update on the PADS on EO 66 by spokesperson Bong Dorana.
Thank you, ASEC. Just recently, last October 29, 2018, the President issued Executive Order number 66, institutionalizing the Philippine anti-illegal drug strategy. This is, I should say, we are turning the page in our campaign against illegal drugs because it would require the government offices, agencies, GOCCs, SUCs, to come up with their operational implementation plans to effectively implement these PADS or Philippine Anti-Illegal Drug Strategy. This was also, the strategy was reinforced by the issuance of Memorandum Circular number 53 issued by the Executive Secretary directing all government offices, agencies, and instrumentalities, including JOCCs and HUCs, to immediately mobilize their assets and take an active role in the government's anti-illegal drugs campaign in accordance with their respective mandates. What is good about this Philippine Anti-Illegal Drug Strategy, the local government units specifically, and all involved agencies, GOCCs, SUCs, are required by this strategy to develop their operational plans and implementation plans within 60 days upon issuance of this executive order. Also, they are also required to develop a performance measures or key performance indicators in their implementation and operational plans, as well as a regular review of the effectiveness of the implementation of these plans, operational plans. And at the same time, the DBB is required to conduct a survey, a drug abuse prevalence survey in the country every 3 years. So, using scientific methods, would be able to know exactly the extent of the drug problems in our country. So, basically, these are the highlights of the Philippine Anti-Illegal Drug Strategy issued by our President. This is, we can look at this as a platform where all supporters and critics of the government's campaign against illegal drugs would be able to contribute their insights and recommendation and all their smarts on how we can effectively lick the problem, if not lessen, if not totally eradicate the menace of illegal drugs in our country. So basically, that's it. This is a very good development that we need to really monitor because it diffuse rightly the responsibility of solving the illegal drugs problem. This is, as time and again we've been saying, that the drug problem cannot be solved by law enforcement alone, by the PDEA and the Philippine National Police. This is it should be approach, and everyone should contribute. It would require a whole-of-nation approach in order to effectively solve the problems of illegal drugs. Everyone is a stakeholder because everyone is affected by the problem of illegal drugs. Thank you.
Ready for questions?
May microphone sila. I was about to give a mic. Pakilala na lang ho tayo, sir.
Hello, morning. George Kalas po, CNN Philippines. Sir, based on the report, 4,999 suspects killed. Sa part ng PNP, we know that you review the cases. May we get updates, sir? Of these cases, how many cases were already reviewed by the Internal Affairs Service? And can you give us a gist, sir, of their findings so far? Thank you.
I don't have the specific numbers, no, but I can give that to you later on. Definitely, motu proprio, any drug operations that resulted to the death of the drug suspect, motu proprio, or by their own initiative, our Internal Affairs Service is immediately investigating this drug operation, no, to ensure that the way it was conducted conforms with our police operational procedures, and it respects and upholds human rights and the rule of law. As far as I can recall, I think we have already something like almost 100 personnel were recommended for dismissal from the service. Some were recommended for suspension, and some, because Internal Affairs Service is just a recommendatory office of the Philippine National Police, our disciplinary authorities, as well as our criminal courts, are the ones who are actually determining the guilt of our personnel. So the ones that were investigated by the Philippine National Police, kasama na po doon sa mga na-dismiss po natin, I think more than 400 plus, no? If I'm not mistaken, were already dismissed from the service due to the use of illegal drugs. 287 dismissed from the service for drug use, and 130 dismissed from the service for other drug-related offenses. And definitely, as we progress in our campaign against illegal drugs, this will increase. But as you know, the wheels of justice grind slowly. But that's a fact in our justice system. But the Philippine National Police will never be remiss and would always be relentless and chilling against our personnel who may be involved in irregularities, much more in criminal activities, especially in illegal drugs operation.
Thank you, sir. Well, anyone can answer po, no? Kasi you have this data saying that 8,935 barangays were already cleared of illegal drugs. Upon computation, that's 21% of the entire barangays in the country. Sir, we're halfway through the war on drugs. And of course, our objective is to clear the entire Philippines of illegal drugs by the end of the term of the president. So, with our current pace, how are we planning to realize that objective
21.
in 3 years' time? While at current rate, 21% pa lang po tayo. Thank you.
Sir, if we take a good look at the data right in front of us, the third number below represents the barangays yet to be cleared. And if you will see the effort on a yearly basis, if we maintain this pace, kaya naman po. Provided the challenge would be that for the drug-cleared barangays, they should maintain their drug-cleared status, and there will not be any resurgence of any illegal drug activities in these drug-cleared barangays, now nearing almost 9,000 at 8,935. Kasi 42,044. Perhaps, Sir George, you computed 21% at the total number of barangays. which is 42,044. But please revisit the figures. There's a third figure there, 23,161. Yes, ma'am. Yan po yung remaining barangays natin, yet to be cleared. So if you distribute that for the next 3 years, kakayanin naman po. Provided, yun nga po, all stakeholders should cooperate in preventing the resurgence of illegal drug activities in these already drug-cleared barangays.
Yes, and if I may add to that, the parameters by which a barangay is declared drug-free are rigorous, they're tedious. And kahit isa lang na nahanapan na, halimbawa may pusher na naaresto or may marijuana sa area na nakita na plantasyon, kahit isolated siya, it doesn't fall to under drug-cleared barangay. So monthly, it's being assessed monthly. So for purposes of transparency, we'd like to show the real picture that we are serious in the campaign, so that even the barangay council, even the barangay officials should be serious about, the BADAC should be serious about implementing the anti-illegal drugs campaign. So, yet to be cleared means there might be instances, there may be parameters na they fall short, kaya they cannot be cleared. Maliliit lang na bagay pwedeng they can fall.
Just a follow-up po, sir. Sir, since you mentioned about the possibility na may mga barangay na bumalik doon sa numbers na, well, may cases ulit ng mga drug cases. Can you cite examples, for instance? May gano'n na ba na isang cleared barangay na nabalik sa cases na i-clear siya ulit because may mga instances na nabanggit ni ASEC, sir? Do we have that data information? May ganun ba bumalik?
I do not have the actual figures as of now, but I do remember not so long ago, sometime about a couple of weeks or so, may nagtanong po ng ganyan kasi mayroong isang lugar na nag-declare na cleared, pero bigla nagkaroon ng operation doon. So yun ang mga, there are instances like that. So that's why it calls for, tama po yung sinabi ni Police Chief Superintendent Durana. Ang problema po sa droga, hindi po pwedeng purely law enforcement ito. Because once a barangay is cleared, safeguards need to be put in place in order to prevent the resurgence of any illegal drug activities. That's why there should be programs there. There should be a community watch by the BADAC and all other concerned stakeholders. Dapat tumulong po lahat, ultimong residente, para palagan po yung pagpasok uli ng droga sa kanilang barangay. So hindi po pwedeng iaasa lamang yan sa police. Kasi pag na-clear na yan, siyempre, the police will focus on another area where their presence and effort is required. So it's up to the Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council to mobilize all stakeholders within the barangay to ensure that the barangay auxiliary teams or the clearing auxiliary teams are also working together with the stakeholders from the non-government sector para palagan nga po natin yung pagpasok uli ng droga. Thank you, sir.
Yes, and if I may add, I think that gap, that weakness in our campaign against illegal drugs was also noticed by our policymakers. That's why these PADS, this Philippine Anti-Illegal Drugs Strategy, ito sa Section 5 mismo, the local government units were directed to formulate and submit their own implementing and operational plans to the DBB, specifically to establish and or strengthen the anti-drug abuse councils, from the provincial, regional, provincial, municipality, and city up to the barangay level. Kasi medyo siguro they've noticed, and we've noticed it actually, that some barangay officials are not contributing in our campaign against illegal drugs. It's their job to take part in this campaign. So this will actually this is an instrument that would really require them to do their job in the first place.
Morning, sir. Ma'am. ASEC Rafael po. Ma'am, previously, ang PNP po nag-report ng mga 1.2 million ang drug surrenderers under the PNP Oplan Tokhang. And now, yung updates nyo po is nearly 293,000 po ang nag-undergo ng recovery and wellness program. My question is, how effective is that program at the moment? And how much money is being spent by the government to finance this well-meaning project? Kasi ma'am, last week, I think there's a report about a big treatment center somewhere in Luzon where some employees were forced to leave the facility because they were not being paid on time. I think it's being run by the government. And have you resolved that problem? I think in Nueva Ecija, it's a government treatment center in Nueva Ecija po.
On the first question, sir, as to the reported surrenders at 1.2 something, bakit 229 lang ang nag-surrender? Can we go to the client flow chart? The client flow chart. Yes. We have different interventions by government. So not all of them go to the recovery and wellness program. Some of them go to community-based rehabilitation programs. Some of them, depende po dun sa extent ng addiction ng mga user. Some of them outpatient, pero nagre-report sa rehab. They are given medication. And some of them, 3,000, as of October 31, we have 323 na inpatient po. And pwedeng out of that, yung nasabi niyo po na napupunta sa mga government at private rehabilitation centers. We must be clear here that we have different interventions by government. So iba-iba pong klase. Yung 1.2 million na mga nag-surrender po dati, depende po kung saan sila kategorya yung extent ng kanilang addiction. So kapag ang sa kanila ay nag-uumpisa pa lang, pwedeng sa general intervention lang sila. Kung malala na, pwedeng yung family would decide to let the user be admitted in rehabilitation centers or sa community, pwede namang sa local government facilities lang sila. Dun sa pangalawang question po, kung ilan ang ginagastos po ng government, we'll ask from the DOH kung magkano ang ginagastos ng DOH po sa mga rehabilitation centers, and we'll provide the data on how much the government is spending. And of course, we have different agencies implementing this one. The PNP, sa general interventions, dito po sa, next slide please. Next slide. Yes. Dito po sa surrenders na nag-graduate, ito po ay law enforcement initiated. Ito yung mga pinapag-graduate po ng ating PNP at law enforcement agencies sa mga nagsusurrender po sa kanila. So wala po dito ang data ng DOH kasi po hindi masyadong yung addiction. Yung addiction nung drug user ay hindi siya masyadong malala. So sila yung napupunta po dito. Doon naman po sa pangatlo, yung sa Nueva Ecija, sa Mega Rehab, we have to ask the DOH, wala po yung representative natin from the DOH today, kung anong totoong nangyari sa issue tungkol po dyan. And we will get back to you, we promise, within the day, so that we know how to answer that. Thank you po.
Ma'am, do you have an idea how much money is being spent for the treatment of one patient only? Kasi I think a patient requires at least 6 months rehabilitation.
We'll be asking DOH. We'll be asking DOH because they vary. However, depende din daw po kung anong klaseng gamot, kung kailangan nila ng gamot. So it varies. But last time, it was around 60 is more or less the minimum kapag pinapasok po sila. Kasi lahat din po, you have to pay for their in-house. So the food and everything, and then the medication and everything. But we'll give the exact numbers from the DOH.
Thank you, ma'am. Kay General Durana, sir. Sir, it appears dun sa record, yung burden ng RWP nasa PNP po, 142,280 na. Paano po nagagawa yon ng PNP? Given the fact na kulang naman po ang support ng PNP sa ganyang mga...
Alam mo naman, yung kultura ng PNP, we are always outnumbered but never outfought. No? Kaya nga po, initiative is very much valued in the Philippine National Police. So with our meager resources in our networks with the community, kami po ay nakipagtulungan. We also encourage, advocate that this is the job that we need to do. We need to walk the extra mile. Sometimes we need to get out of our functional boundaries in order to solve community's problem. But that's one. Another one is that this will also should serve as a wake-up call of other agencies, no? And as well as civil society organization that they should take part, no? Not just talk and talk, criticize and criticize, no? But you put your money where your mouth is. Ika nga. You should take part, no? I think the best way for us is to pull your weight. Ika nga. Each one should pull their weight para po malutas po natin ito ang problema natin sa droga na nakaapekto sa lahat ng ating mga mamayan. We are showing the way. But then again, this is sometimes itong drug rehabilitation is not our main function. But this will hopefully encourage others to do their share in our campaign against illegal drugs.
In like manner, katulad ng sinabi po ni Police Chief Superintendent Durana, na tuligsa din ng PDEA dahil bakit sabi nila, hindi ninyo trabaho yung to go into reformation. Pero dahil nasimulan din po ito ni Director General Aaron Aquino during his time as Regional Director in Region 3, where in Bataan, na-pilot doon sa kanila yung Bahay Pagbabago, initiated by then Provincial Director and now Police Chief Superintendent Rodel Sermonia. We took the concept of Bahay Pagbabago, improved it further, tweaked it further, and now there are 18 Balay Silangan centers nationwide operating in different parts of the country. Director General Aaron Aquino has given guidance to our regional directors to continue multiplying exponentially these Balay Silangan centers that are focused on helping. Yun naman pong kasi yung ito, recovery and wellness, sa user po yan. Yung mga tao pong nainganyo o nahikayat o na-compel na sumali sa drug supply chain as street level, casual na tulak, pangtawid gutom, pangtawid buhay, ayan po yung mga kinikater ng Balay Silangan. And we are continuing this effort in coordination with the local government units and other stakeholders.
Dagdag ko lang po, hindi naman sana, baka sabihin nyo, wala nang gumagawa. In fact, marami na po tayong partnership, no? And initiatives coming from the civil society organization. I understand, kasama po natin dito yung Businessman and Bishop Conference, no? Sila po ay nanguna po dito sa community-based drug rehabilitation program. And they are working closely with the local government units para po to set up this community-based drug rehabilitation program. Meron din po tayong mga kasamahan sa Philippine Council of Evangelical Churches. Meron po silang sipag, no? We've sat down with them, we've sat down with the CBCP, and they are now actively contributing in our campaign to rehabilitate the drug users. So maraming packets of initiatives coming from faith-based organization, civil society organization to take part in the drug rehabilitation of our drug suspects. Kaya nga ito yung PADS and Memorandum Circular 53, this will provide the legal instruments and added push for other local government units to take part, to mobilize the resources of their community to rehabilitate more drug suspects in their area. Thank you.
Morning, sir. Raymond Adpaso from DCRH. Sir, Sir Derek, kumusta ang Looking at, maganda titignan yung numero, kaya lang, may we know, kumusta yung, sa ngayon, saang level tayo doon sa anti-drug campaign? Ano ba to? Dumami ba ang supply? Especially after that billion peso shipment supposedly na naipuslit dito sa atin. Kumusta ang supply ng drugs?
Well, definitely, sir, may supply. Kaya nga po, as a result of series of test buys, we have verified, especially in the National Capital Region and in some selected parts of the country, nakita po natin nagbago yung presyo ng illegal na droga. So, bumaba. The last test buys we had has shown the price has gone down to even up to 1,400 per gram for shabu. So, definitely, may supply po. And the reason why may supply is because we have to address the demand side. Kaya nga po dapat balanse yung effort natin. Kasi hanggat meron tumatangkilik, meron at meron magpaparating either through smuggling or may magtatangkang magtayo ng shabu laboratory upang mapunan yung supply, ay yung demand sa illegal na droga. So definitely, kaya nga po, kami na lang ng PNP, halos wala nang tulog ang mga operatiba namin, araw-gabi, na hinuhuli yung, nakita niyo po yung confiscation, gaya kanina madaling araw, sa Quezon City, kilo na naman. Ayan po yung sinasabi natin na ang buy-bust operation ngayon, commonplace na lang yung kilo-kilo ang transaction dahil nga po may nagparating ng supply.
Yung price mo na yun, sir, is down to 1.5 from how much?
The standard price of illegal drugs per gram used to play around 5,000 to 6,800 per gram. So now it's down to 1,400, especially here sa National Capital Region.
Itong time na to, Christmas season, ang sinasabi nila may pera ang tao. Yung bang parang lumalakas ba ang bentahan ito talagang panahon?
I think ang droga po kasi hindi naman din siya yung tipong by season. Hanggat may demand, hindi natin masyado nakikita yung up and down yan eh. Pero, kumbaga, siyempre, consequentially, if there are parties being held, and if there are people there who use drugs, naturally, there will be probably an observed upsurge of illegal drug activities. But if you can notice, ang droga po year-round, meron at meron eh. Hindi namimili yan ng okasyon. So, tinatanong nila, ano ba ito? Pag oras ba ng pasukan, kailangan mag-heightened effort tayo? O pag tag-ulan ba? O tag-araw? O pag panahon ng bakasyon? Hindi po siya, hindi siya tulad nung certain crimes that are increasing or on the rise during certain times of year. But that's why vigilance should always be at high gear at any point in time pagdating po sa droga.
Meron na ba kayong sorry, I have to go back to the issue on yung billion peso drug. Anong huling report dito? Dahil I understand meron ng effort para mahabol yung mga tao behind. Meron na bang, anong huling impormasyon dito, Director?
On the side of the ones behind the MICP shipment, may po yan may cases nang na-file. Now, in regard to the other shipment that landed or that reached GMA Cavite, I believe there is at least one suspect in custody and the several others are still being the subject of pursuit operations. Now, as to the cases, same. PDEA NCR and PDEA Regional Office 4A are on top of the situation in regard to the preparation of the cases against all those involved in this whole shipment, which we have now established are related. Dahil nga po, maski yung sa amended bill of lading, yung dalawang nakuha sa MICP, ang destination din nun ay yung warehouse po sa GMA Cavite.
Yung mga nahuhuli ngayong mga drugs just like last night, related pa rin dito or?
The only way that we can answer that with certainty, sir, is after we subject the specimen to profiling. Kasi meron na po tayo nagkaroon ng correlations. Like the ones that were taken in Ayala, Alabang, and yung sa Santa Cruz, Manila, and even as far as Maguindanao. Nag-compare po tayo nung specimens noon with the drugs recovered at MICP. And based on the correlation value, which is 0.99, doon po natin nakita na talagang may semblance, meaning na they came from the same source and using the same mode of manufacture.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, good morning po, Eunice Monte from PTV4. Anyone can answer po about dun sa arrested government workers, nasa 600 na po. Can you just specify kung ilan na po kung ano po yung pinakamataas na elected official? And sa PNP naman po kung ilan pa yung mga under surveillance na uniformed personnel?
I will have to get back to you on that, ma'am, because we're retrieving the data right now. Kung ano, baka nandiyan po sa support staff natin. Because I recall, meron yung provincial board member dati, but that was a little way back. I believe there's a municipal councillor? Yes. So let me double check on that.
Alright, yung kay Sir Durana naman po. Sir, yung mga under surveillance figure lang po sa PNP, mga uniformed personnel.
We have about 1,800, but they're involved in illegal activities, not necessarily drugs. No? And in fact, our counterintelligence task force has already neutralized something like more than 100 plus already. And out of this 100 plus, I think 102 as far as I can recall, siyam po dito ay namatay dahil ng laban eh. So, namatay po sila. So, this will tell us that we are really serious about cleansing our ranks of misfits and scalawags. No? There's no place for these scalawags, especially those involved in illegal drugs, to stay any minute longer in the Philippine National Police. We will go hard at them. We have a unit dedicated to running after them, no? Because we believe that involvement of police officers in illegal drugs operation can taint the integrity of this campaign.
Sir, last na po on a positive note naman, paano po ba gumagana yung reward system na almost 50 million na yung napapamigay natin sa mga informants and tumutulong?
Yung pong Operation Private Eye is a reward system that has been devised upang mahikayat ang mga kababayan natin na nakakakita ng mga suspicious or illegal drug activities sa kanilang lugar upang lumapit sa atin at magbigay ng impormasyon. Ang sistema po niyan is once na merong verified report, or at least they have the basis of the report, they bring it to PDEA, fill up a form, and then our Intelligence and Investigation Service will turn this into an intelligence package para po gamitin ng ating mga operatiba on the ground. Now, once na maging successful po yung anti-drug operation, the reward will be given in cold cash to the informant. And there will be parameters on this. Kung gaano karaming droga nakuha, sino-sino yung mga naresto, anong level nila sa sindikato, gaano ka-pure yung droga na nakuha, at kung clandestine laboratory yan, depending on yung laki po, small, medium, and large, pinakamababang reward po rito kalahating milyon for a small-scale shabu laboratory. For a medium-scale shabu lab, 1.5 million, and the ceiling of rewards is pegged at 2 million per operation for the large-scale shabu lab and the volume and value of drugs and the arrested personalities. So dyan po gumagana yung ating private eye reward system.
Sir, balikan ko lang po yung sa pinakamataas na elected official.
I'm sorry.
Sir, balikan ko lang po yung pinakamataas na elected official based
Yes.
from the 600 figures of the government workers arrested. Thank you.
Okay, let me check on that. Ang pinaka mataas pong nahuli, you really want? Is it safe to read that? Municipal councilor, 4 po. City councilor, 1. May 2 vice mayor at 1 provincial board member. The rest are barangay officials. 163 kagawads, 81 punong barangay, okay? And 2 SK kagawad. So yun po. Highest would be board member. Ito yung mabilis na convict pero 2013 pa to ha. And then yung lately, ito yung may vice mayor tayong dalawa and yung 1 city councilor and 4 municipal councilors. Okay, ma'am.
Good morning, Sir. Joy Cantos from Filipino Star. Sir, dun sa mga killed under sa drug war po, 4,999 yung sa legitimate operation. But how about yung mga death under investigation that were being linked to drugs? According to some Solon, sir, it's balloons, the spate of killing goes on at yung figures ay nagbalon na as up to 30,000. Nagtatali ba yan sa figures ng PDEA and ng PNP, sir?
Alam nyo, paulit-ulit na namin sinabi yan. I think that's one of the propaganda attempts of some sectors. Itong 23,000 that already came close to something like 30,000, these are homicide cases under investigation. No? Homicide cases under investigation, ito po yung mga homicide cases all over the country since 2016, crime of passion, simple homicide, etc., etc., not in a way related to drug operations. Pero meron pa rin diyan, mga, I think 2,000 plus related to drugs, yung nagpapatayan sila. No? So, it's a, I think it's a lie. Let's call it, let's call the spade a spade. It's a lie by some quarters, no? Insisting on this 30,000, and we've been telling them already we've been very transparent and been truthful with our figure, 4,199. These are drug death under investigation, or we call it also this, those who died in police operations, no? During drug operations. No? This 20, almost, you said, almost 30,000, these are normal, regular homicide cases under investigation, not in a way related to drugs. So, I think it's lost in the cacophony of voices. Ika nga, na ito ay 30,000 namatay. Parang kasinungalingan po yun. Let's call it a spade. Call the spade a spade. No? 4,999 are deaths that resulted as a result of police operations. 2009, out of that 2,000, almost 30,000, ayun po ay mga deaths as a result of somewhat related to the drug problem. So, the most na makikita natin is something like 6,000 to 7,000 ang namatay, no? Case incidents of homicides related to the drug problem. 38,000, that's too much of a stress. Yan po ay propaganda ng mga siguro ng mga walang maisip wala na pong maisip, paulit-ulit na yun nating sinasabi, no? So, paulit-ulitin ko rin sasabihin na hindi po yun, no? Hindi po totoo yun, no? Hindi po totoo yun. The facts will not lie, but some others would insist on lying about these figures.
Sir, with regards naman doon sa reward system, na po ba tayo ng mga na-neutralize na narco-cops and narco-politician doon sa mga informer natin? Yung mga na-neutralize na narco-cops and narco-politician, may nabigyan na po ba tayo reward?
Wala pa po akong ideya, but tanungin po natin yung DILG, no? Kasi po, ang binibigyan naman ng reward niyan, hindi yung mga kapulisan, because it's just part and parcel of our mandate. Ang binibigay po yon sa mga informant, mga civilian po yon, civilian informants ng ating mga kapulisan.
Sir, clarification lang po sa PDEA. So, nag-decrease po yung price ng drugs per month. So, may Christmas sale din yung mga drugs syndicate, sir?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Kasi po, nag-decrease po yung drugs, ang price sa market ng per month, sir. So, nag-Christmas sale din po ba yung mga drugs syndicate?
Hindi ho yun. It's not related to the occasion. As I've mentioned earlier, hindi po kasi seasonal ang illegal drug activities. Year-round yan, the threat is there. It is more attributed to the fact that supply was brought in through the lifters. And by economics, by simple economics, pag may supply, yung presyo po bumababa.
With regards sa sa magnetic lifter naman po. So, par ilan na po, pa po ba yung i-account natin doon sa mga missing billions of drugs?
We'll get back to you on that, ma'am, because as we mentioned, not all confiscations resulting from anti-drug operations can be attributed to that because we have to correlate it through impurity profiling, of which fortunately the PDEA, only the PDEA laboratory service is capable of doing. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, kanina.
Hello, good morning. Lianas Capanti from GMA News Online, sir. I noticed increased number of drug personalities arrested, increased din sa namatay by 51 in a month. But you mentioned there is still a demand for illegal drugs. So I would just like to reconcile this. Does this mean that the anti-drug operations and even those incidents where people were killed, apparently not making a dent, not discouraging people from looking for drugs?
Ma'am, you have to look at this, as already mentioned by my other esteemed counterparts, General Durana, even Asek Marie. Ma'am, drug use, if you're talking about demand, then it will mean drug use. Drug use is also a health condition. That cannot be solved by purely law enforcement efforts. If you are a drug user, kumbaga, especially if you're a heavy drug user and your body is already dependent, you have a condition. Seeing people getting killed is not really a deterrent because your body is craving for a substance that it has grown accustomed to. Dahil nga po, it has an addicting effect. And therefore, yes, that's why demand has to be addressed not by law enforcement, but by several other efforts or interventions. So kaya nga po dapat hatiin natin yung effort eh. Balansehin ang supply and demand reduction. Demand reduction definitely is not law enforcement. It is not hard and fast arrests or service of search warrants. It's intervention. And in fact, that is why sabi po ng ating mahal na Pangulo, ang droga sasalubungin natin ng tapang at malasakit. The demand should be approached with a different system. It is not law enforcement. So making a dent is removing the supply on the streets, making sure that it does not reach the people who have already been victimized by it. So that the demand side is on the victims, those who have been kumbaga hooked into using and who form the client base for the drug syndicates. Ganun po yun, ma'am.
Dagdagan ko po yun, illegal drugs is more addicting than cigarettes. No? Bawat bili mo ng sigarilyo, nakalagay doon, smoking is dangerous to your health. Ang dami po noon, di ba? Talagang may mga pictures pa yan ng mga mangyayari sa atin, no? Cancerous, everything, no? Gory images of what will happen to you if you continue smoking. And yet, just recently, narinig ko, despite of tumaas yung mga taxes sa sigarilyo, 10% tumaas yung demand sa sigarilyo. How much more sa drugs, no? So, these deaths will not deter people if people, this drug user is only motivated by his lust for drugs.
Sir, Catherine Gonzalez po, Inquirer.net. Kay Sir Carion po, Sir, balikan ko lang po yung sa reward sa mga sa mga nagtitip sa drug personalities. Sir, ano po yung safeguard mechanism natin to assure na hindi ito na-abuse ng mga nagtitip po?
There is such a thing, ma'am, as always mentioned, the validation of the information given to us. Hindi naman po yan yung tipong magturo-turo ka lang and then may reward ka na kagad. Unang-una, ma'am, ang saklaw po nito ay yung malalaking trabaho. Dismantling of clandestine laboratories, eradication of marijuana plantations, dismantling of chemical warehouses, the huge volume confiscations of illegal drugs, neutralization of members of transnational and local drug groups. Yun po yung saklaw ng reward system. But if you're just going to point to any Tom, Dick, and Harry and submit it to our intelligence and investigation service, definitely hindi po makakabunga yung trabaho kasi kumbaga nagturo lang ng basta for the sake of pointing. Yan po yung safeguard niyan. All information has to be validated and should have resulted in a successful anti-drug operation.
Sir, follow up po. Nabanggit niyo po kanina yung range ng reward dun sa mga drug dens. Depende sa laboratories.
Shabu Lab,
Sa,
ma'am.
Shabu Lab.
Wala po sa drug den.
Okay. How about yung sa drug personality, sir? Magkano po ba yung, siguro sir, minimum kapag, limbawa, isa na aresto dahil sa isang tip?
Consequential na po yun kasi doon sa walang presyo yun sa drug personality. Pero kumbaga it adds credence to the facility being such a facility like for instance a clandestine laboratory. Clandestine laboratory would mean na yung nag-ooperate nun are members of transnational drug groups. So consequential yung arrest dun. But the computation of the reward itself is more on the type of the facility, the degree of its yield, and the items confiscated inside. Yan po yung... but of course, it's added credence to the operation if may makuha kang drug personality belonging to a transnational drug syndicate. Kasi ma'am, there are also instances where a Shabu laboratory is discovered and dismantled, but the personalities are no longer there. They might have either abandoned the facility or have already been arrested in a previous operation. You're welcome.
Reward system. General Durana said that policemen cannot receive rewards. But in the data, sir, merong lawmen received 17.94, 33 operating units. Sir, ang question ko is this being subjected to audit? Kasi kahit na-reward siya, ino-audit pa siya kasi it's a reward given to law officers, sir.
Opo, kasi properly reported naman po yan sa Commission on Audit. And there is a committee deliberating these rewards. And the members of the committee, sir, are not actually members of law enforcement. It's a multi-sectoral committee. Members of the business sector, religious sector, academe. Ayan po yung members. Kumbaga, ang PDEA only sits as secretariat to these particular committees, whether on Operation Private Eye or Operation Lawmen. Properly recorded po lahat yan. And this is incorporated in the budget of PDEA para po properly naming mai-report din sa State Auditor.
So, PDEA lang po ito, sir.
Sa PDEA po ang secretariat nito, ang management nito is PDEA.
So, yung lawmen na pinag-uusapan dito are PDEA?
Sir, PDEA and PNP. Kasi pag nag-operate kami, for instance, nag-joint operation kami, kung sino po yung main effort, kung police ang nag-lead doon sa operation, sa kanila yung lawmen reward. Support unit lang ang PDEA, then we only get the reward for the support unit.
Can they use the money for personal use or will they use it for their units to buy equipment? I don't know.
Ano na yan, sir? Kumbaga, that being a reward, it's up to them on the utilization. Hindi na yun, kasi kumbaga, this is an incentive for those units yielding high-impact operations. For instance, yung nakuha po sa MICP, that's an example of a high-impact operation that merits a reward.
Thank you, sir.
Customs yun, kasama ang customs dun, sir, kasi kumbaga kasama sila sa operation.
How sure are we? Kasi di ba binibigay ng reward ng mga yan? Some are saying the possibility na makagawa-gawa lang ng tropa na para lang makita na may reward pero sila din na may nakakaalam ng information just to give, para may maibigay o may makuha na pera. Paano po natin masisiguro na walang ganung nangyari?
Sir, iba po yung reward. Kaya nga po, meron yung lawmen na talagang legal na para sa operatiba at meron yung private eye na pang citizen. Una-una, under the parameters of Operation Private Eye, hindi po pwede mag-file ang membro ng law enforcement. Kailangan po yung impormasyon ay nagmula sa karaniwang tao. Kasama po kayo dun, sir. So in fact, kayo, pwede kayo mag-claim ng private eye. Kami nila, sir, hindi. Ganun po siya. Iba, nakahiwalay. Kaya nga po, from the very start, ganyan po. Kaya nagkaroon, nag-conceptualize ng Operation Lawmen. Dahil ito naman po yung counterpart na kumbaga, hindi necessarily naman kumbaga para i-target ng tropa, Ngunit para kumbaga matumbasan naman yung effort nila. Dahil, sir, you will know, and I'm sure General Durana will concur with this, sa lahat po ng krimen, sa lahat ng trabaho, pinakadelikado ang anti-drug operations. Because the incidence and chance of armed encounter is always looming and imminent. Apart from the fact that the exposure to hazardous materials, especially in Shabu Labs, is always there. Kaya napakadelikado, sir.
Sir J. Mark Dagala from DWIC. Sir, i-clarify ko lang kay Director Derek, yung po bang kulay ng mga shabu na nakukumpiska, ano po ang bigat nito? Ibig sabihin, pagka may kulay yung shabu na nakukumpiska, medyo high grade ito? Or kung purely white, merong ano?
Sir, ang nature po ng shabu itself, it's called crystal methamphetamine. Basically, it's salt form yan eh. It really discolors in time. Wala naman po tayong hard and fast rule na kung puting-puti, o may kulay, o basa, o tuyo, high grade siya. The only way na madidetermine po natin yan ay kapag sinalang natin sa aming research lab at dinaan sa quantitative examination. Yun lang po. Ngunit, alam niyo kung gano'n na pa, i-announce pa natin yun. Pero alam niyo kung gano'n kadali paputiin yun, kahit na anong kulay yan, shabu? Lagyan mo ng acetone. Puputi po yan, for sure. And that is why acetone is highly regulated, na kapag ang kahit sino po bumili ng more than 30 liters in one count, susundan ka na namin yan ng pulis. Dahil malamang yan, ang destination yan, Shabu Lab. Pero yung mga parlorista, definitely, hindi na natin nahabulin yan. Ganun po siya by nature, the Shabu itself. Yung mga sinusunog, kapag may pagkakataon po at maimbitahan namin kayo sa next destruction, yung mga iba po rito, like si Sir Dindo, nakikita nyo yung mga sinusunog natin, di ba, minsan iba-ibang kulay. Yung iba, depende kasi on the method of production, there's a chance na mag-discolor siya to either yellow or brownish. But if you want that to be crystal white again, or clear, just put acetone. That's how it is. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Again, thank you. Thank you, our media friends, and sa mga kasamahan natin sa iba't ibang ahensya. Magandang hapon po, daghang salamat, and Diyos ti agnina kadakay amin.
Sir, minutes lang. Minutes lang.